We already know the Supreme Court has reversed Jack Smith, sent his case back down to the Court of Appeals. We have big news coming out of Michigan by Soros-funded Democrat hitting on Trump. Coming right up on Doug and Exile. It's been a while since I've reminded you guys to subscribe. GOP favored to take control of the Senate in 2024. This is the first I've heard this in the news that Republicans could get the Senate. Remember, this affects Kari Lake's chances in the Senate. And then meanwhile, everyone goes like, but Matt Gaetz is splitting the Republican Party and Mike Johnson is so divisive. No, what's actually true is Ilhan Omar, a split among Democrats, may threaten the squad and help Trump in 2024 because they're split on how much of them just adore and love Hamas and the other half that are for Israel.
A setback for government lawyers trying to fast-track the prosecution of former President Donald Trump for interfering in the 2020 election. The Supreme Court denying the request of special counsel Jack Smith to skip the appeals process and decide whether Trump is immune from federal prosecution for crimes committed while in office.
Here's a quick summary of the timeline of how Jack Smith went from Chutkin up to the Supreme Court, back down to the appeals court. Here's Trump's immunity claim down here at the lower D.C. court. That's with Judge Chutkin. And then he gets moved up here. What is that? An appeals court. Jack Smith is supposed to put up there, but instead Jack Smith tries to leapfrog that appeals court up here to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court says, no, Jack, you dummy. You have to go back to the appeals court. Why? Because Jack Smith is guilty of being an imbecile and a party hack. And here we are at CNN with Donald Trump urges federal appeals court to, now that he's in the appeals court, remember he got sent back down, grant him immunity from criminal prosecution. CBS News, Trump's lawyers ask appeals court to rule on immunity in late night filing. And then here's Yahoo News. Be careful what you wish for. Experts warn Trump's immunity filing could backfire. It will not backfire because if it goes up to the, no matter how the appeals court weighs on it, it's going to delay. That's a huge win for Trump.
Trump's lawyers had argued Smith failed to offer a compelling reason for the high court to step in.
In this case, delay is a win.
Win for Trump, guys. Take the victory lap. Be happy. Don't get all glum and go, I don't know who to believe and nothing's going to happen. No, take the win. Your enemy is telling you this is a win for Trump.
The decision coming just hours after the Detroit News reported then President Trump pressured two Michigan Republican elections canvassers not to certify the election results in Wayne County.
Okay, so this is a new opening in Michigan where a new leaked phone call with Trump and Ronna McDaniel were pressuring these electors in Michigan. What happened to the electors in Michigan? Guess who killed them?
The Detroit News citing a recording of a phone call involving Trump, RNC Chair Ronna McDaniel, and county canvassers Monica Palmer and William Hartman, who has since died.
Yeah, they've since died, and we have no idea who could have done such a thing.
NBC News has not heard or verified the recording. The newspaper quoting Trump as saying, "We can't let these people take our country away from us." And McDaniel is saying, "If you can go home tonight, do not sign it. We will get you attorneys."
So I'll tell you how this actually helps Trump. They think this is some big, ooh, guilty, we got him now. No, it proves Trump still believed back then. He was not lying when he said he believed he won the election. That's it. This is totally a huge win for Trump. And this is proof that he believed it. Because remember, they have to prove that he insidiously and falsely and fraudulently believed that he did not actually win and tried to deceive all these people. That's not what he did. He was a true believer.
The Trump campaign not disputing the recording, telling NBC News Trump's actions were part of his duty, quote, to take care of the laws and ensure election integrity. McDaniel telling the Detroit News, quote, there was ample evidence that warranted an audit.
That's where she was back then, that she believed that we should have had an audit. But then I think Uncle Romney got in her head.
Michigan's Secretary of State saying the recording doesn't surprise her.
He was trying to pressure these local, appointed officials.
It's Jacqueline Benson, the Democrat Stepford wife, who was bashed repeatedly for being in the back pocket of liberal billionaire George Soros. George Soros funded a bunch of secretaries of state. Jocelyn Benson, bought and sold.
To subvert their own duty, their legal duty under the law.
Trump is facing 4 criminal prosecutions heading into the 2024 election, and the Michigan recording could haunt him.
Nah, it ain't going to haunt him. It's going to help him. He stays up at night smiling. Thanks for all the persecution, guys. I'm going to win, win, win.
It is incredibly damning evidence. This evidence may find its way into the Georgia case or one of these federal cases.
Yeah, all of these cases, by the way, Trump could indeed win. And even if he loses, it goes to the Supreme Court where he wins.
Now, the question of presidential immunity will end up before the Supreme Court, but it will take the traditional route going through the D.C. appeals court first. And even that's been fast-tracked. The judges will hear arguments early next month.
Fast track, but not fast enough for Jack Smith, not fast enough for them to prosecute Trump before the election. Trump is going to win this one, whether if he loses and it goes to the Supreme Court or it goes to the Supreme Court and he wins. Be a pal and subscribe. I'm Doug in Exile.